All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is Joe Rogan reveals why Kamala Harris interview didn't happen. Guys, now keep this in mind. We're just coming off of the Joe Rogan and Trump interview. So it's honestly a little crazy that Kamala Harris didn't actually go through with this, but we'll see the exact reasons why. Let's go and check it out. Let's go and jump to this immediately.
We just saw former President Trump sit down for a wide-ranging interview with podcast host Joe Rogan. But it's not looking promising that we'll see the same with Vice President Harris.
No.
Rogan posting this on X. For the record, the Harris campaign has not passed on doing the podcast. They offered a date for Tuesday, but I would have had to travel to her, and they only wanted to do an hour. I strongly feel that the best way to do it is in the studio in Austin. My sincere wish is to just have a nice conversation and get to know her as a human being. I really hope we can make it happen.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like, based off of that, just the slight information that we're given right here, it's a little crazy to have to travel somewhere just to only deal with the talent for the most part for 1 hour. That's a little frustrating. And if that was the case, 1 hour, do it in his literal studio that's built for this, right? Perfect sound, audio, light, etc. Right? He's going to give you a lesser product if he leaves.
Kaylee, I was struck by, in the episode with Donald Trump, that Joe Rogan's first question off of the bat, he didn't play it, but he referenced The View. When just a couple years ago, Donald Trump was on with the ladies of The View, and they said, our friend. There were kisses, there were hugs, there was love. He was running for president then, and he brought up and said, wow, the machine has turned against you. And that, I felt, set the scene, set the stage for a very honest, open conversation about how the world sort of went from idolizing Donald Trump, revering him as a character, a main character in the fabric of American society, to somehow, after he actually won the presidency, to turning around and having him in the, to quote Joe Biden, crosshairs.
Yes, and you hit the nail on the head when we talked about Joe Rogan. I forget your exact phrasing, but it was, if you're a listener of curiosity,
Subscriber to
curiosity, you listen to Joe Rogan. Kamala should have done this. She was in Texas. There's no reason not to stop by his studios. I had a mom say to me when we were at practice for our daughters, I feel like I've gotten to know Donald Trump through these podcasts. He's not the monster everyone pictures him to be. He's real, he's authentic, and these 3-hour-long episodes give people a chance to see who he is authentically. Why Kamala Harris would miss out on that opportunity, I do not know, but it is indeed a missed opportunity.
And I mean, she knows. Here's the thing. I think for the sake of her specific campaign, the smartest thing would have been doing something like this. A lot of men listen to Joe Rogan on a daily basis, okay? And she just was recently caught on a hot mic, basically acknowledging the fact that she has a man problem. So why would you do everything, right, to make it so men no longer see your message? Not saying that men are going to be super attracted to your message, but if you want to be put in front of men, Joe Rogan's podcast is a great place to be, bro. But all right.
And it's hard, Kennedy, because in conjunction with her declining or as yet to accept the invitation, there's also been a lot of slamming, right? We saw coming out of the campaign and CNN analysts saying that those who listen to Joe Rogan need therapy when, to Kaylee's point, they simply are open to new ideas or to new information or to seeing an old person in a new light other than what the mainstream media might have you think.
And that's what they're saying they want. They're saying that they want to end the division in the country. One of the best ways to do that is through curiosity. And if more people were curious and had conversations with others they disagree with, I think the entire thing would operate better. Our families would come back together. But instead, we're ripped apart by our politics, and Joe Rogan is both consistent and uncompromising. And he wanted her to come to a studio because that's where everybody goes. It's like asking your doctor to have your appendectomy performed at Home Depot. No, it's actually probably best in a surgical center.
Well said.
Noted.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Bill Hemmer, the other thing is...
Was that funny?
Everyone's point about the authenticity of podcasts, the relaxed nature. I wonder if that's why it would be so damaging and challenging for Kamala Harris. We saw her on that interview here. Right. She just faked an accent. She was born in Berkeley and grew up in Canada. Her parents were Berkeley professors.
Did she just say, she was born in... Where's is she from New York?
I don't know where that accent came from. There's a little bit of pandering, clearly. Would she fold if it was an hour and 1 minute?
Yeah, no, because Rogan won't fold.
He has his parameters. It's 3 hours. It's in my studio in Austin. Last week, when everybody in this building was going, why is Trump in Texas? And yeah, he did an event for Ted Cruz. But I don't necessarily think that Ted Cruz is in danger of losing his Senate seat. I said, because he's going to be in studio with Rogan for sure. You want to reach 35, 40 million people in the next week? That's what you do. And you show up.
It's valid.
I thought that it was a very wide-ranging conversation. It showed me the breadth of Trump, and Joe Rogan is a fascinating guy. He can talk about a lot.
Well, look, it had legs as news because you had 33 million plus people watching
And
it
counting.
on one format.
Hey,
No, wait, hold on. This is where I think, some people are just like thoroughly confused, okay, with the word news. Just because you have the word news, all right, in your logo, it doesn't really mean that you specifically only espouse said news. A lot of it is just opinion, and it's biased opinion in general. So the reason why I'm saying this here is because Joe Rogan, in fact, is not news. Okay, this is the opinion. Like, you can't just put Joe Rogan news because he had the ability to kind of pull in 33 or whatever 40 million people, bro. That's not the definition of news. But that's not the point here. But the real point here is that Kamala Harris does have a man problem. She will consistently have a man problem until she realizes, or at least until the party that she represents realizes that it may not be the greatest idea in the world to just completely and consistently diminish masculinity in men. All right? Like, that's not a selling point for men. Okay? If your biggest and only motivating thing is to say that a woman's right to choose, right? If that's all that it is, you do know that that baby that exists inside the mother was placed there by a man and a woman, right? But you take the man's. Okay, I don't know how that works, guys. It always confused me. Okay, don't get me wrong. I'm just a messenger of my thoughts. Okay, so if your only selling point is removing the man's thoughts on if he should have his child or not, how do you plan on bringing men into your party? Right? Like, if you listen close enough to what the left says about men, you'll start to realize why so many men, straight men, are running from this party. Okay? That's the reality, guys. But if you want to get your message in front of men, Joe Rogan was the way to go. That was a missed opportunity. The platform. I'm confused why you want him to kind of step outside of his studio. Okay? Everyone goes to his studio. They're right. But either way, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.
Guys, before we go, are you guys subscribed to the other channels? Logical Movie Reviews with Mr. L. Boyd, along with Mr. L. Boyd Music. Both are found in the description. Check it out.